would have never waited in a line that long. How am I supposed to talk about a man who was larger than life in so little words? My dad was fierce, loyal, sensitive, strong-willed, kind, and a sarcastic ass. And boy, are we gonna miss him. What a beautiful testament this day has been to my dad. He loved and cared so deeply about his friends and family, and it's clear the feelings are all reciprocated. From spending hours in the basement burning personalized CDs to dropping off flowers to a friend in need, you could always count on him. He was one of those people you could call randomly to bail you out of jail as long as you weren't in there with him. He could walk or wheel into any bar, not knowing a single person, and leave with lifelong friends. He was truly one of a kind. On a more serious note, the relationships my dad has created and maintained over the years have been beautiful to witness. I love being Lit's daughter. If you were ever looking for my dad on any given weekend night, all you had to do was look up the closest bar playing live music. He loved listening to music, talking about music, and sharing stories about concerts he's attended. Music was definitely a love language to him. Another thing my dad loved was his dogs. He spoke to them and treated them like humans. Max, Max 2, Sadie, Nico, Winnie, Fuka, just to name a few. I'd like to think he loved them so much because they were as loyal as he was. One of my dad's favorite stories to tell is when he left school to go fishing. I'm not sure if it was grammar school or high school, but someone in this room was definitely with him. A nun had caught him in the act and had his father, who was a superintendent at the time, come pick him up. And from this day, my dad always instilled in me to never let nuns or anyone stop you from doing cool shit. If you see me out or at work, please do not hesitate to stop and share any stories that you have with or about my dad. Each one is something I lean on and makes me feel way closer to him. Thank you for the ones that did share small stories. My dad has always encouraged me to take risks, travel, and make the most of life's experiences. Growing up, we would always vacation somewhere south and somewhere warm. These experiences later inspired me to move to Puerto Rico for a good chunk of my adult life. After my dad's accident, I moved back home so I could be around to help. Although I wish I came home under different circumstances, I'm so grateful for the extra time we got to spend together. Looking back, I can't help but to think what an honor it's been being able to take care of my dad the same way he took care of me my entire life. My dad has such an incredible support system. Jamie was the strongest of them all. Jamie, no words will ever be able to explain how grateful I am for the amazing care you took of my dad. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And Dad, what can I say? We did it right. Although your life took an unexpected turn, it brought me home in both a literal and metaphorical sense. It taught me to stop and smell the roses. Literally every Tuesday we had to go pick up flowers from some Stop and Shop or shopper. You were the best father to Zach and me. I hope to continue to make you proud. There's a void in my heart without you physically here, but I feel happy knowing I carry a lot of your treats with me. My favorite parts of me are you. I promise I'll go to the Florida Keys. I'll try my best to find a small farm by the beach where there's lots of animals and flowers, and maybe a dive bar that has live music every night nearby. I'll look for you in everything, and I love you more. Thank you.
Heart is broken. I'm going to miss him so much. Many have thanked me for what I've done for John the past 4 years. And it was very sweet with Anna to put me into the obituary. It was family. I wanted to say something powerful or witty or sarcastic, or some of the gems of words he called me. I'm sure we've all heard them, we've all had them as well. But I can't stop thinking every time someone would say, oh, thanks so much for all you did for him. They have no idea what he did for me. He did for my family. My whole world since I was 19 has been impacted by Johnny Litt. He steered me. He steered my entire life. I needed a place to live in 1986, sorry. I walked into the I worked at the Champagne Porch, and John would yell across the bar, "Did you find a place to live yet?" No, John. He's like, well, you can live with my girlfriend, right here. That's how I met, married them. Move in with her. 42 years later, she's still one of my closest friends. Many of the pictures out there were sent by her. Don't know why she still has pictures of John, but that's okay. It's pretty funny, actually. And then there was Tom. He forced me to date Tom. I'm not joking. He would coordinate, another one of his favorite words, different places that we would go. He goes, "Go, we're gonna go listen to this, and we're gonna go listen to that, we're gonna go here." It's gonna be couples, but don't worry, there'll be a lot of single people there. Right, me and Tom, right next to each other. And we knew what he was doing. He'd invite me everywhere, just so I could try to get to go on a date with Tom. But he was right, and he knew it before I did. And then there was, anytime Tom got sick, he was there for us. He'd stop everything, and he would help us. He drove to Robert Wood Johnson and donated platelets and blood. Many people did, but he was always on top of it, coordinating, arranging. He did a fundraiser, and when that wasn't enough, he did another fundraiser. And then when that wasn't enough, he did whatever he could for us. After Tom passed, I didn't want to be alone on Father's Day. I didn't want my kids to experience that. He arranged a trip for us to the Bahamas. So many things I could talk about how great our friendship was, but all you have to do is see the photos of how powerful he was to me. I could never give back what he gave to me. And I want to thank him especially giving me extra children, and Zach, and my kids, a bonus brother and a bonus sister, and a bonus mom and a best friend in me with Lori. But I want to thank him also for Jamie. He loves you dearly. We could see how much you loved him and gave him the care that he helped him survive as long as he did. Even with everything he put on you, you truly were the meaning of unconditional love. I do take comfort in knowing that you were there with your brother Jimmy, with your parents, with all that have gone before you, and with Tommy, and you're walking, you're talking, you're rocking, you're laughing, and most of all, you're pain-free and worry-free. I will love you always, Johnny.
Mine's gonna be super short and sweet. I posted really what I wanted to say on Facebook a few days ago, but I just really wanna thank everybody who's been there for John the last 2.5 years since he's been paralyzed. It obviously was a tough road for him to navigate, but he did the best he could. There was a special group of friends that really stepped up and were there for him on a weekly, if not daily basis. I will be forever grateful for your kindness and letting John know he was never alone and that he could count on others for help at any time. The day after John's first benefit in October, we spoke about how lucky he was to see and hear what he meant to others throughout his life. Not everyone gets that opportunity while they are still alive, and he was extremely grateful. He was overwhelmed and humbled by the number of people who showed up for him, and he carried that love every day to the end of his life. In closing, I just want to say, I know John's memory will carry on in the songs and bands that he loved and shared with many of us, if not all of us. You're gonna miss all of his music knowledge and storytelling, a big void that will never be filled. I will love you always.